What's going on YouTube? How's everybody today? Good to hear. So today we're going to talk about something a little strange, a little unusual. It's from the 70s. It's by this band, this community called the Trees Community. It's called the Christ Tree. There's some Christian nomadic Jesus people. Some people are calling them Jesus junkies. The Trees Community is this kind of collective of musicians and spiritual people who were living in New York. They formed in the summer of 1970. I guess they found an abandoned loft somewhere in the industrial section of New York or something like that, because the door was unlocked, so they made that their makeshift house. They hung some Christmas lights and some of their artwork, and they had dinner there and like meditations, discussion about Bible discussion and stuff like that, jam practice. Members ranged from 14 to 7 members, and they existed for 8 years. And this album originally came out in 1975 on their own label called Pomegranate Records, and this is a 2007 reissue on Dark Holler and Hand Eye. And what you get on here is some like pretty eclectic sounding psychedelic folk music. Some people calling it freak folk, even though it doesn't really freak out that often. It's not that freaky. It's pretty far out. It's very eclectic. It's got all these a whole array of like influences, ranging from like what do we have here? Balinese chants, American folk, Indian raga, African rhythm, Scottish bagpipes, got Celtic, Tibetan, Japanese, all kinds of things. Like there's all kinds of instrumentations on here, like harps and oboes and like chimes and all manner of drums, flutes, sitars, tablas, like all kinds of weird shit on here. Very, very eclectic sound, very, very colorful, very intricate. Everything kind of blends together just right, like a kaleidoscope would, shifting and stuff, always shifting sounds. But all the music on here also has like a very religious undertone, lots of exclamations about how God is great, and reading from the Bible in the form of songs and stuff like that. But the music on its own, like despite how hippy-dippy it is, it's pretty good to listen to. Like it's, I don't know, very colorful, very, very kind of tranquil to listen to. It has this very calming effect. It's very complex. It's recorded pretty cool too. I don't know if they recorded this in a professional studio or on their own, but the production levels are pretty good, even though there's not a lot of studio trickery. But the music still managed to like layer itself and blend together and do all that kind of thing. Very meditational. I guess these guys are into like Buddhism and yoga practices as well. And then we're into that, not that into Western religions and stuff, because they felt like they were making Jesus more into an idol than into an icon. Just meaning there's probably trying to commercialize religion a little more in Western cultures. Might be true. I don't know. The music, it's pretty far out though. I do like it. It's got all this sitars and weird string sections and horns. And it's far out stuff. This album is 18 songs and 80 minutes, and there's also a box set of this stuff too, and they have like old I guess cassette recordings on there and stuff like that. But it's a monster album, very, very long, very hard to sit through, but very fun to listen to. It got suggested to me by my friend who owns the record store not too far away. Listen, and he just said, if you're just looking for some like old rootsy, trippy psychedelic music, you can check out these guys. And like it's pretty good. Like it's a little too hippy dippy for me, and it's got all these religious undertones, like I mentioned. So it does make it hard to listen to. Like it's hard to work up a desire to, but when you do listen to it, it has this nice calming kind of tranquil effect. It's very, very trippy. Artwork's also pretty out there. Is that Jesus in the middle? I think that is. There's some members just dancing around him. Hippies having a good time. Some more pictures of them. And I guess they pick trees, take pictures of the trees, because trees are very symbolic in religion. So they do with the resurrection and a tree or something like that. A tree of life, who knows? Not pertinent to know. But yeah, very, very exotic, very familiar sounding all at once. But yeah, some weird nomadic Jesus people is making music. It's very, very psychedelic, very folksy, very peaceful, but very well done. Very, very diverse amount of sounds. Songs range from like 2 minutes to like probably over 8 minutes. All kinds of stuff on here. Very interesting to listen to. Has a very unique vibe to it for sure. I don't know if you're into like that whole freak folk thing and you wanted to get into some more of its roots, I guess. You should probably check this out. Originally released in 1975, 2007 reissue, Trees Community, Christ Tree. Pretty unusual.